Welcome to the CompTIA A+ Prepcast presented by baremetalcyber.com. Before we begin reviewing the glossary terms in this episode, it is worth taking a moment to recognize that learning a new technical certification is a bit like learning a new language. The terminology used throughout the A+ certification can sometimes feel unfamiliar at first, especially if you are new to the field. That is completely normal. Many of these terms will appear again and again in later episodes, often without much explanation. So taking time to become familiar with the vocabulary now can make the rest of your study journey much smoother. You do not have to memorize everything on the first listen. These glossary episodes are here for you to return to at any time. As you move through topics like hardware components, command line tools, or security protocols, you may find that certain terms come up again in context. When that happens, you can always revisit this episode for a clearer understanding. Treat this glossary as a supportive foundation, something you can build on as your confidence grows. Let's begin reviewing the selected terms, starting with the letter group covered in this episode. A stands for authentication, authorization, and accounting. These are the three foundational principles used to manage and track user access in network security. Authentication verifies identity, authorization controls what actions a user can perform, and accounting logs those actions for review or auditing. AC stands for alternating current. This is the type of electrical current that flows in both directions and is commonly used in wall outlets and building power systems. It contrasts with direct current, or DC, which flows in one direction and is typically used in battery-powered devices. ACL stands for Access Control List. It is a set of rules applied to network resources like files, folders, or routers to control which users or devices can access them. Each entry in an access control list defines permissions for a specific user or group. ADF stands for Automatic Document Feeder. It is a hardware feature commonly found on printers and scanners that allows multiple pages to be loaded and processed automatically. This is especially useful for scanning or copying large documents without manual input. AES stands for Advanced Encryption Standard. It is a symmetric encryption algorithm widely used to secure sensitive data across many technologies, including wireless communication, secure storage, and encrypted files. The standard supports key lengths of 128, 192, and 256 bits. AP stands for Access Point. This is a network device that allows wireless devices to connect to a wired network using Wi-Fi standards. It serves as the bridge between wireless clients and the main network infrastructure. APFS stands for Apple File System. It is the default file system used in modern versions of Mac OS and iOS, designed for speed, reliability, and encryption. It replaces the older HFS Plus system used in earlier Apple devices. APIPA stands for Automatic Private IP Addressing. It is a fallback mechanism used by devices when they cannot obtain an IP address from a DHCP server. These addresses usually start with 169.254 and allow basic local communication on small networks. APK stands for Android Package. It is the file format used by the Android operating system to distribute and install mobile applications. These packages contain all the components required for an app to function properly on Android devices. ARM stands for Advanced RISC Machine. It is a type of processor architecture known for low power consumption and high efficiency, commonly used in smartphones, tablets, and embedded systems. ARM processors are different from traditional x86 processors used in desktops and laptops. ARP stands for Address Resolution Protocol. It is used to map IP addresses to physical MAC addresses on a local network. When a device wants to communicate on a local subnet, it uses ARP to discover the hardware address associated with an IP address. A TA stands for Advanced Technology Attachment. It is a standard interface used to connect storage devices such as hard drives and optical drives to a computer's motherboard. ATA has largely been replaced by serial ATA or SATA in modern systems. ATM stands for Asynchronous Transfer Mode. It is a high-speed networking standard that transmits data in fixed-size cells rather than variable-length packets. Though mostly obsolete today, it was once used in wide-area networks for voice, video, and data transmission. ATX stands for Advanced Technology Extended. This is a widely used motherboard form factor standard that defines the physical dimensions, mounting points, and power connections of a motherboard. It allows for easier standardization and compatibility in computer cases and components. AUP stands for Acceptable Use Policy. This is a document that outlines the rules and guidelines for how users may use an organization's information systems and resources. It is typically signed by users as part of onboarding or system access procedures. BIOS stands for Basic Input-Output System. It is firmware stored on a motherboard chip that initializes hardware during the boot process and hands off control to the operating system. In modern systems, BIOS is often replaced by or integrated with UEFI firmware. BSOD stands for Blue Screen of Death. It refers to a critical system error screen displayed by Windows operating systems when the system encounters a fatal error and must shut down. The BSOD provides a stop code that helps identify the cause of the failure. BYOD stands for Bring Your Own Device. It is a policy that allows employees to use their personal devices such as smartphones, tablets, or laptops for work-related tasks. While convenient, BYOD introduces security challenges related to access control and data protection. CAD stands for Computer-Aided Design. It refers to software applications used by engineers, architects, and designers to create precision drawings and technical illustrations. CAD programs are used in fields such as architecture, electronics, and mechanical engineering. CAPTCHA stands for Completely Automated Public Turing Test to tell computers and humans apart. It is a challenge response system used to prevent automated bots from accessing websites or services. Common forms include distorted text, image recognition, or checkbox confirmations. CD stands for Compact Disc. It is an optical storage medium used to store data, music, or software. Although less common today, CD technology helped popularize digital media distribution in the late 20th century. CDFS stands for Compact Disc File System. It is a file system standard used for organizing and accessing data on compact discs. CDFS allows operating systems to treat the contents of a CD like a standard file system with directories and files. CDMA stands for Code Division Multiple Access. It is a digital cellular technology used in some mobile networks to allow multiple users to share the same frequency band. Unlike GSM, it assigns unique codes to each call to keep communications separate. CERT stands for Computer Emergency Response Team. It is a group responsible for identifying, managing, and responding to cybersecurity incidents within an organization or at a national level. These teams help coordinate recovery efforts and improve security readiness. CIFS stands for Common Internet File System. It is a protocol that allows file sharing across a network, primarily used in Windows environments. CIFS operates over TCP and provides access to files, printers, and serial ports. CMD stands for Command Prompt. It is the command line interpreter in Windows operating systems that allows users to execute commands, run scripts, and manage system tasks. The command prompt is a key tool for troubleshooting and administrative tasks. CMOS stands for Complementary Metal Oxide Semiconductor. It is a type of low-power memory used to store BIOS settings such as system time, date, and hardware configuration. CMOS settings are maintained by a small battery on the motherboard. CPU stands for Central Processing Unit. It is often referred to as the brain of the computer, responsible for executing instructions and managing tasks within a system. Modern systems may include multiple cores to enhance processing efficiency. CRL stands for Certificate Revocation List. It is a list of digital certificates that have been revoked by a certificate authority before their expiration date. CRLs are used in secure communications to prevent the use of compromised or invalid certificates. DC stands for Direct Current. It is a type of electrical current that flows in one direction, typically used in battery-powered devices. Unlike alternating current, direct current provides a steady voltage level ideal for electronics. DDR stands for Double Data Rate. It is a type of synchronous dynamic random access memory that can transfer data on both the rising and falling edges of the clock signal. This effectively doubles the data rate compared to earlier memory technologies. DDoS stands for Distributed Denial of Service. It is a cyber attack in which multiple systems flood a target with traffic, overwhelming its resources and causing service disruption. DDoS attacks are often difficult to mitigate due to their distributed nature. DHCP stands for Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. It is a network protocol that automatically assigns IP addresses and other network settings to devices on a network. DHCP simplifies network administration and ensures consistent addressing. DIMM stands for Dual Inline Memory Module. It is a type of computer memory module used in desktops, servers, and some laptops. DIMM modules contain RAM chips and connect to the motherboard's memory slots. DKIM stands for Domain Keys Identified Mail. It is an email authentication method that uses cryptographic signatures to verify that messages were not altered in transit. DKIM helps protect against email spoofing and improves trustworthiness of messages. DMA stands for Direct Memory Access. It is a system feature that allows certain hardware components to access system memory directly, bypassing the central processing unit. This improves efficiency by reducing CPU overhead during data transfers. DMARC stands for Domain-Based Message Authentication, Reporting, and Conformance. It is a protocol that builds on SPF and DKIM to verify the legitimacy of email messages. DMARC also provides instructions for how to handle messages that fail validation. DNS stands for Domain Name System. It is the hierarchical system used to translate human-readable domain names like example.com into IP addresses. Without DNS, users would need to remember numerical addresses to reach websites and services. DRAM stands for Dynamic Random Access Memory. It is the main type of volatile memory used in computers and other digital devices. DRAM requires constant refreshing to maintain stored data and is used for active processes and tasks. DRM stands for Digital Rights Management. It refers to technologies used to control how digital content is used, copied, and distributed. DRM is commonly applied to software, music, video, and ebooks to protect intellectual property rights. DSL stands for Digital Subscriber Line. It is a technology used to transmit digital data over traditional telephone lines, allowing for simultaneous voice and internet access. DSL is often used for residential broadband connections and supports various speed tiers. DVI stands for Digital Visual Interface. It is a video display interface used to connect a video source, like a computer, to a display device such as a monitor. DVI supports both digital and analog signals, depending on the version and cable type. DVI-D stands for Digital Visual Interface Digital. It is a specific type of DVI connection that supports only digital signals, providing a cleaner image and higher resolution compared to analog connections. This interface is commonly used in modern monitors and graphics cards. DOS stands for Denial of Service. It is a type of cyber attack where a system or service is intentionally overwhelmed with traffic or requests, rendering it unavailable to users. Unlike a DDoS attack, a DOS attack typically originates from a single source. ECC stands for Error Correcting Code. It is a type of memory that can detect and correct certain types of data corruption. ECC memory is often used in servers and critical systems where data integrity is essential. EFS stands for Encrypting File System. It is a feature in some versions of the Windows operating system that allows users to encrypt individual files and folders. EFS helps protect sensitive data from unauthorized access, especially on lost or stolen devices. EMI stands for electromagnetic interference. It refers to unwanted electrical noise or signals that can disrupt the performance of electronic equipment. Shielded cables and proper grounding are often used to reduce EMI in data transmission environments. EOL stands for End of Life. This term is used when a product, service, or software version is no longer supported by its manufacturer. Once a product reaches EOL, it no longer receives updates, including security patches. ESD stands for Electrostatic Discharge. It is the sudden transfer of static electricity between two objects which can damage sensitive electronic components. ESD precautions, such as wrist straps and grounded mats, are essential during hardware repairs or installations. EULA stands for End User License Agreement. It is a legal contract between the software provider and the user, outlining how the software may be used. Accepting the EULA is typically required before installing or using commercial software. EXT stands for Extended File System. It is a family of file systems used primarily in Linux-based operating systems. Variants like ext2, ext3, and ext4 offer increasing levels of performance, journaling, and reliability. ESATA stands for External Serial Advanced Technology Attachment. It is an extension of the SATA interface designed for connecting external storage devices. ESATA offers high-speed data transfer while maintaining compatibility with internal SATA standards. EXFAT stands for Extended File Allocation Table. It is a Microsoft-developed file system optimized for flash drives and external storage. EXFAT supports large file sizes and is compatible across multiple operating systems. FAT stands for File Allocation Table. It is a legacy file system originally used in DOS and early versions of Windows. Variants like FAT12, FAT16, and FAT32 determine file size and volume limits. FAT12 is the earliest version of the file allocation table system, typically used on floppy disks. It supports small volumes and a limited number of files, making it obsolete for modern storage needs. FAT16 improved upon FAT12 by supporting larger volumes and more files. It was commonly used in early hard drives, but is now largely replaced by more advanced file systems. FAT32 is a widely used file system that supports larger volumes and files up to 4 gigabytes. It is still used in USB flash drives and memory cards due to its broad compatibility. FSB stands for Front-Side Bus. It is the communication pathway between the CPU and the main memory or chipset. The speed of the FSB affects overall system performance, especially in older computer architectures. FTP stands for File Transfer Protocol. It is a standard protocol used to transfer files between a client and a server over a network. FTP can operate in active or passive mode and may require authentication for access. GFS stands for Global File System. It is a shared disk file system used in clustered computing environments where multiple systems need concurrent access to the same storage. GFS ensures consistency and coordination across nodes. GPS stands for Global Positioning System. It is a satellite-based navigation system that provides location and time data to receivers on Earth. GPS is used in a wide range of applications, from mapping and transportation to mobile device tracking. GPT stands for GUID partition table. It is a modern partitioning scheme used on storage devices, supporting large disk sizes and more partitions than the older MBR system. GPT is required for disks larger than 2 terabytes and is part of the UEFI standard. GPU stands for Graphics Processing Unit. It is a specialized processor designed to handle rendering and image processing tasks. GPUs are essential in gaming, video editing, and machine learning due to their parallel processing capabilities. That concludes our review of acronyms A through D for the A+ certification. Remember, learning these terms is not about memorizing them all at once, but about becoming comfortable with the language used throughout the exam. As you continue through the prepcast, many of these acronyms will come up again in different contexts, reinforcing your understanding over time. Feel free to revisit this glossary anytime you need a refresher and continue building your foundation for success in this certification journey. Thank you for listening. Please visit baremetalcyber.com for more cybersecurity information, podcasts, books, and more.